Bonjour à tous et bienvenue. Hi everyone and welcome to our Linguastar Languages bite-sized session today on numbers from 1 to 100. Numbers can get a little bit tricky in French, particularly once you start getting to 70. So 70 to 100 can be particularly tricky for learners. So if you grab yourself a pen and some paper, we're going to be looking at the pronunciation of these numbers and we're going to be doing some activities to practice. So when you're ready, on y va! Okay, so let's start off with the numbers from 1 to 10. So let's repeat. Répétez après moi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if you can grab a pen and some paper, and I'm going to say some numbers in French, and I'd like you to write down the numbers for me in digit form. Off we go. 5, 7, 10, 2, 8, 6, 4, 9, 3, 1. Okay, let's see how you did. So now let's look at our numbers from 10 to 20. These are a little irregular. You'll see when we get to 17. So you would just have to learn them by heart. So we've got après moi, so repeat after me. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ok, encore une fois. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, let's practice these numbers. Pens at the ready. Off we go. Numéro 1, 13, 19, 15, 12, 16, 14, 20, 11, 18, 17. Here's your answers. How did you do? So now let's look at our numbers from 20 to 69. So starting off with our 10, so we've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, let's try those again. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, and then it's pretty straightforward when we're saying our numbers from 20 to 69. When we're saying 21, 22, etc., we go 21, then 22, 23, and it's hyphenated. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Then we go to our 30. Now notice whenever we're having our 21, 31, 41, we have our 21, 31, 41, 51, 61. Okay, so we have these hyphenated. And then for the rest of them, we don't need our e, we just have our hyphen in between the two words, 22, 37, 49, etc. Okay, and that is up to 69. So 61, 69. So let's try some activities with these. So get your pens at the ready and off we go. 25, 47, 53, 68, 36, 22, 51, 27, 42, 65. Here's your answers. How did you do? Now the fun really starts with our numbers from 70 to 100, and these can be tricky. So the numbers after 69 follow a completely different rule that we've been previously used to with our numbers below 70. So you'll notice that the number 70 is 70, and that is 60 and 10. So then any numbers above 70, from 70 to 79, need to follow in the sequence of 60 10, 60 11, 60 12, 60 13, 60 14, 60 15. And this can be particularly tricky because as soon as we hear the word 60, instantly we want to write down the number 6 for 60. But we need to really listen to that second number, because if we said 62, that would be 62, but 72 would be 72. So my advice to you would be to listen very carefully to the whole number and listen to that second number in particular, because that will determine whether it is going to be in your 60s or your 70s. So let's practice these numbers. Off we go. We've got 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, which is literally 60 plus 19. Of course, if we were saying 69, we'd be saying 69, but 79 is your 79. So when we get to our 80s, it starts getting very, very strange and a little bit confusing. So when we say our 80s, we're saying 80, which is like saying 4 20s. So 80, notice that on your 80, you have an S. But then for the rest of them, 81, 82, 83, we don't need our S on our 20. Again, we've got our hyphens between the different numbers. So 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Okay, so 80s aren't too tricky. It's when you then get to your 90s, because it's very, very similar to the 70s. Because when we're looking at the 90s, you will see that we then need our 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's have a look at that now. So here are our 90s. So you will notice that the number 90 is 90. So this is a combination of 80, which is 80, so 4 20s, and then your 10 on the end. So you're saying 4 20s and 10, basically. And the rest of the numbers in the 90s follow the same pattern of 80 plus a number from 10 to 19. So we've got 90, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. That 99, look how long that number is. And be very careful with these because, again, Like we discussed with the 70s, when you hear 60, you instantly think it's 60, but actually you've got to listen to your second number to determine whether it's 60 or 70. It's very similar with the 80s and 90s. So as soon as you hear 80, you're thinking, right, well, that's 80. You must listen to that number at the end, because if you say 82, that is 82, whereas 92 is 92. So it can get tricky. Let's have a practice. If you get some paper and a pen, let's practice these numbers from 70 to 100. So your first number. 70, 73, 77, 80, 85, 88, 90, 99, 95, 93. Feel free to rewind that and listen again. And when you're ready, let's see the answers. Alors c'est tout, on a fini. Merci beaucoup. So we finished our tutorial for today on our numbers from 1 to 100. Make sure that you go onto your learning platform and you go on Quizlet, on Memrise, on Wordwall, practicing these numbers. Even just 5 minutes a day will make a huge difference to your comprehension. So à la prochaine fois. Au revoir.